One of the fun aspects of 10 Cloverfield Lane is that we developed the story in-house. We shot the film in New Orleans, but there's a kind of homespun quality to it. It's easy access because everything's sort of under one roof. It's closer to doing a student film or an independent film than it is doing a typical studio movie. Kelvin Optical is a department at Bad Robot. It is this sort of production arm that has not only been involved in production on a number of reshoots that we've done, but also oversees visual effects. There's a kind of pride, I think, that everyone here has when something comes together that was, conceived, shot, edited, posted, all here in secret. And it allowed us to surprise audiences with the announcement of this movie.
I come from the trailer world, and ultimately you wish you were on set. You wish you could be there to have them give you an extra line, or to make something more concise, or to frame something a little bit differently, or to change a scene for you. Little did I know that Dan would be so attuned and aware and interested in my input at all times. While we were shooting, that was a big part of the job. Are we good? Do we have the footage we need for the scene to make it work? That was the big challenge with the schedule we had. When I read the script, I was really excited by the idea of the ending. And actually cutting it was great. It was one of my favorite scenes in the movie. To actually sit at the keyboard and put together and figure out how to make it work. And that was really intense. And I had no idea what I was getting into. I had no idea what adventures lay ahead. In this project, it was a long time before we have finished effects, or at least grayscale effects. We know it's coming. I gotta tell you, that was so rewarding, peeking into that world, the VFX world, to see those pieces come to life and come together.
I personally feel that visual effects need to push the story along, but they need to do it in a way that is non-destructive. In other words, if the visual effects are, blatantly visible as being, hey, this is a visual effect, the chances of being bumped out of the film that you're watching it can be high. I strive, and I also, have my team strive to not let that happen. This movie required a creature design that was nothing like we've ever seen before. The ship itself and the alien, they exist together. Meaning the alien has this kind of hard-plated armor. And we wanted to kind of make it so the ship had that same kind of armor, this hexagon armor that basically is over the entire body of the alien. And we followed that same concept through the ship. So the ship and the alien all look like they could be manufactured organics. When we started to actually sit down and really start talking about the action sequence with Michelle and the creature as it jumps on the truck door as she's trying to escape from it, we really started to get into the semantics of how is she going to act knowing that there's nothing there. It was almost like choreographing a sequence that has a ghost that doesn't exist. So it can be very challenging, but because of the fact that Dan and Jeff Cutter were so open to, figuring ways out to make this, work, we were able to come up with a fantastic action sequence where there is no creature in the sequence. It was all added in post.
I tend to think of sound in texture, and shape. When we're looking at sound on a computer, we see a waveform, and it's an actual shape, and that shape kind of informs a texture. I'm always listening to the world around me because I so much rather hear an interesting sound in real life and use that than go to a sound library and pick a sound that, I know does a certain thing. One of my favorite things is using one thing for another thing. The creature makes vocalizations, screeches and screams, and some of those sounds are comprised of real animals that have been recorded, whales and dolphins and bats. as well as a sea lion, which has this great, powerful sort of breath. Can't forget about camels or lions. They have these guttural sounds. The creature has this worm-like appendage that comes out of its mouth. You know, it's very stretchy and it's pulley and sticky. And so the first thing I thought of is packaging tape. So when you hear that by itself, you know, clearly that's a tape dispenser. But then when it's mixed in and added with all these other elements, it becomes something much more. Whether you're editing sound effects or any creative, it's all about these choices, and you want to make as many choices as you can and then just keep moving forward.